Um, I have some schedules for today's class. I would like to cover up some lapses. I would not want us to be too forward and some amistors possibly not being carried along. So we may not cover everything that has to do with exception handling today, but I will introduce exception handling. But I would like to talk some lapses that I have observed. So, and the first one is using GitHub. Using GitHub. I realize some of us are not yet very well familiar with it. I won't blame us. Even me up to now, I still Google some things that maybe when I want to write Git and all that. So, but the more you practice, the more you know. So, for today's, before we start, I want to take us through the modus operandi of how we should work, because as time goes on, we start working on projects, and what really matters to me a lot is organization. So when files are too scattered, it kind of makes the work so boring and all that to do. So this is the right thing to do. Let me share my my GitHub. Okay, now the way our work is, I said I opened the repo for this project, that's Learn from Home, and as you can see, this is the repo, Learn from Home. Okay, now this is it. As you can see some folders there. You see IO, you see decision loop, exception handling, then goodness, justice, teaming methods. Now, if I open IO, what I will see is I will see all the assignments he has sent to me. So I have 3 of his assignments: method, assignment 3, and assignment 3B. Now, if I come to goodness, I have 2. Okay, I have 2 of his assignments, module 2 only. Then let me check. So you have it just like that. If I check Timmy, I will see the assignment he has submitted. Now, as we take classes now, we've done decision loop together, we've done methods together, and we are doing exception handling today. So now, on those ones, there are codes that has to do with each of the modules. So I don't want our files to be scattered. Like exception handling for today now, the code is already there. So what I expect us to do is, for those of us, now the first thing you do is you fork it. That's it. You fork the repo. Now when you fork it, it will appear on your own profile. You have it as a repository on your profile now. Now you will now clone it on your local repo. Now we are very familiar with how to clone. So now let me take for example, we all know how to clone. So now when you clone now, you will now have a full folder of Learn from Home. You have everything, like everything will be exist as a folder on where you are cloning it to. So now when you now want to do your assignment, let's say I give you an assignment now. Now you now come to your Visual Studio. I'm coming. Now come to your Visual Studio. Let's assume you want to start a new project. You can see on the Visual Studio. So just come here, file, then new project. Now console app, definitely. Now let me name it OOP. That's our next module. Let me just name OOP. Now you now look at the location now. The location now, you ensure it's, you can browse it. You ensure the location. I'm coming. I don't think we can view. Okay. Okay, the location now. You will ensure you can see now. You can see my folder now. You can see the folder Learn from Home. Now I cloned this folder from the repo now. So now you just open the folder. Now you can see all what I have on my repo. I have it also on my laptop here. Now you just select your name. Let me say goodness. Now just select goodness. And now, okay, now inside goodness, now that's where you now create the project. So now I just selected the folder goodness now. Now when I selected folder goodness, coming. Okay, we can still see that. Now, OOP. Now, it will now create a project called OOP under goodness. Now, so let's say normally it shouldn't be on that folder. It should be on, it should just be under learn from home, since it's a module. Just like we have decision loop, methods and all that, OOP will be standing alone. So it will be inside learn from home folder. So I select learn from home. So it will now create a folder, special folder there for me called OOP. So I'll now create OK. So it will create it coming. It's loading. So when it creates that folder now, it now exists on my laptop, on my local repo. Now I'm just doing it as a trainer now. Now as a student now, maybe you want to do your assignment. Now you just create that same project just like that. You will go to the cloned the folder you have there. Then you open your own folder. Then you create that project and you store it inside your particular folder. So now, let's say for example, I've done that. Now, if I come to my, I'm coming. If I come to my folder itself, okay, okay. I want us to see what I'm doing. Okay, so now if I come to my folder here, learn from home. Now you can see OOPs. It's already there as a folder. So now what I will do here is, like I'm acting like a student now. I'll just right click git bash here. So it won't take us anything at all. So just git bash at that particular place. So now I've already created a git init there, so I don't need to do much. So let me share the screen for my git bash. So now you can see what I'm doing. So I don't need to do any complex thing. Many of the complex things you'll have done it like since. So now what I just have to do is git status. So when I do git status, I will see the OOP folder there. It's new. So now what I just need to do is just do git add. Then if you add it, then git commit. Object oriented programming class. So I'll enter that. Now it's okay, it's added those files. Now I now need to push it now. I now do git push. So to push everything now. To push it, time. Okay, now it has pushed it now. Now, anytime anybody that has forked a particular repo pushes the, like maybe you alter any change from your end, or maybe as a teacher I alter any change from my end. Now every other person will see it. Every other person that has forked that project will see it. Now if I go to my my browser now, definitely I should see it there. Let me just reload it now. You can see OOPs there now. Now if you actually, you can see the OOPs and all that, you will see the whole stuff there. Very, very fast and easy. So now anybody that alters any change or add anything, or maybe you as a student, you came into, let's say you came into Ayo, then you added your assignment. Now everybody that has worked the project will see a response that you've sent a pull request. Now, so it will appear on my own folder due to the fact that I'm the creator of the whole the repo itself. It will appear on my folder as a pull that you've sent a pull request. Now I will see that, if you can see this pull request now, I will see it as a pull request. Then I will now look at the changes you've altered. Then I will now merge it now. Now I will merge the pull request, grant the pull request. Now, when I do that, it will now appear generally, and everybody will now see the changes that you've done. Now, it will appear on my master branch that, okay, you've done these changes. So I see some of us, some of us, we often have to even go and create a new repo entirely. No, the way I just explained it now, it makes it more organized. We don't have scattered codes. Take for example, when we start working on projects, what I'll just have to do is just create a particular folder, then make it project, then we'll start working on it so that every other person can contribute, and so we won't have scattered files. So I actually want to clarify that. So you can practice that maybe after this class, or maybe if you're on your laptop now, you can practice it. So if you have any challenge with that, then if you have any challenge, there are guidelines. So any challenge, you can put it on the Slack channel. So let me just welcome question before we go into the next thing for today. So any question?
There's no question.
Okay.
As for me.
Okay.
I want to ask if it's the same process with VS Code.
Yes, if you are using VS Code now, when you just change anything, you don't even need to push. Like VS Code is even much more easier, kind of. But I prefer you use the Git terminal. I mean, if I use the Git bash, it's more professional, and you from there learn the Git terms itself. Normally on Visual Studio, let me share there's a way I can push. I can all the stuff I want to do inside the Git terminal. I can actually do it on my Visual Code. Now, all I just have to do is just come here. I'll come to Team Explorer. Then I will see. I can push. I can commit and do all that from my Visual Code. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You can see change, you can see branches, you can see all that. You can see all the stuff that we've just done. You can see them. So you can actually I can actually do it from here also. Virtually all editors have GitHub added to it as an add-on, but it's not professional. So when you know the Git commands, you're very well. Because those are the things companies they actually look out for. Anybody can use any user interface. So on Visual Studio Code, VS Code, definitely I think there's a section there where you can synchronize your file with but it's not I don't know. So I would want us to use the Git terminal. Miss Goodness.
Sir.
Okay, do you get me?
Yes, I understand it.
Okay. So, but if there's any challenge, like Mr. Justice shouted me up today, and he told me of some challenges he was having. Then I went online. I just realized that okay, you just need to issue a particular command on his terminal, and it will settle the whole thing. So it's not as difficult as we thought. So I would want us to. So if there's need for us to maybe delete some repos on our profile on GitHub, then maybe from the ones we've created and others, it makes our repo like kind of, our profile dirty kind of on the GitHub. So when you have your file organized, so the first thing I would just advise is fork the repo. When you forked it, now where you want to git bash it, you can even git bash it on your desktop. So just right click, create a folder, just right click, do git bash here, then you do git clone, then you know what to put. Let me just a brief so now when you come here, when you do git clone, then you copy this URL, then you paste it, git clone this particular URL. When you enter, it will just clone everything you are seeing there. So you will have everything here there. So now if you now want to do any change and all that, Now let's assume it is let's assume I'm using VS Code. Let me just take this goodness through that. Let me open my VS Code. Okay. It's going to take a little time to come up. Sometimes. Okay, I'm waiting for my VS Code to come up. Okay, while we're waiting for it to come up, there are some other things we will touch. Okay, it's up now. So now let's assume I'm on Miss Goodness laptop and I've actually forked the repo. Then I already have everything as a folder on my laptop and I want to carry out a particular assignment. So this is what I will do. Now I'll come to still booting up. Okay, I'll come to file. Now I will say, okay, now I will come to file. I'll come to open folder. So now I'll come to open folder. Then I will locate where the folder that I've cloned, where it is. So on my laptop, this is where it is. So now I just click on the learn from home folder now. So now it's going to load all the files, everything on the folder for me. So it's still doing that. I don't know why it's slow. Okay. Okay, now can we all see it? Hello, can we all see it?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's assume you want to work on your own folder. You want to do a particular assignment. Just come here. Then I can see new folder. Let me call it okay, you've not submitted method assignment, so let me call it methods. Methods. Assignment. Let me just call this method since it's already inside your folder. So now the folder is already there. Then I can create a new file. Coming. Coming. Okay, so now let me right click new file. Let me call it let's say normally program.cs. So now open. Coming. I don't know why it's hanging. I'll give you some time. So, and I actually did it this way also, so that you can also see your colleagues, the others, like the way they work too also. You see what they do and all that. So you can see now I've added program.cs. So I can start writing my code. Now, when I come to my Git bash, and if I do Git status now, to tell me that I've added a project for this status. So you can see now, okay, you are not seeing that. Let me share it. So you can see now that, okay, saying I've added a folder for our call methods. So I can now do git add and all that. So when she does that, it appears on, and she does git add, git commit, and git push. It appears on the remote repo that, okay, she has added it. Then I'll see it as a pull request, and I'll pull it. So as soon as I confirm it, every other person also sees it also. So that's how you do it. So you can see now from so you can see now, you can see the folder here. So you can add as many as you want to do. So let me delete this particular folder from here. So that's that. So if we are having challenge with this, just be free to just shout me up. But I don't want our projects to be scattered, kind of. I don't want it to be scattered. So now let's go to what we have today. So like I said, we'll be touching too many things to address and all that. So now let me close Visual Studio. Okay, so today we are doing exception handling. So, and the assignment we did, just like I mentioned, we tried, but I realized some of us didn't really get it. So I'll just do a quick explanation, and I'll use the opportunity to also explain some other things in C#. So now I've commented it out. So now the question is, now let's assume I give you, we all know binary number, I give you 1011. Now we know 1011, how to convert it is 1 times 2 plus 1 plus 0 times 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 1 times 2. Then you do 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, how will you convert this to your code? Now, and the question also says that you verify that what the person has entered is a binary input. So now let me uncomment this first so that we can see what was done. Okay, can we see this? Can we see my Visual Studio code, please? My Visual Studio, please. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, now console.writeLine, we all know what it does. That does enter a binary value, then string num. Now whatsoever the person enters will be stored inside the variable num. So now, like I explained, that anything read line collects is in string format, so it stores inside num. Now I want to know the length of the string the person enters. So in our case now, we are using 1011 as example. So now num length will return 4. So now, but 1011 is still a string inside the quotation now. So num length will give us 4 now. So that means we are having length to be 4. Now, our answer, we are declaring our answer to just be 0 for now. We don't know our answer yet. Now, coming. Okay, this shouldn't be here. So now, the next thing to do is, now, I explained for each loop last week. Now, if you look at the for each now, say for each var number in num. Now, because num is still in string format, I can easily iterate through each character inside the string. Now, it's still 1011. Now, I want to iterate over each of them. Now, that means 1 will be a character, 0 will be a character, 1 will be a character, 1 will be a character. They are still characters. They are not digits. They are not in a form that can be operated on. So I want to iterate over each of them. So now, if you understand what I explained and the way you do normal mathematics conversion, the power will be reducing. That's 0, 1, 2, 3 with time. So as you iterate over it. So now, for the first time, let's assume in our case now we have 1, 0, 1, 1. Now the length is 4. But when we are doing the power, it can't exceed 3. So that means we'll be starting with 3 as our power. Now, this is the condition that addresses if it's a binary or not. So now if you check, if number is not equal to 1, and if number is not equal to 0, you can see now it's in string format now. It's a character. It's a character now. Now it should return that this number is not a binary. Then it should break. We all know what break does. So break means it will to get out of the loop entirely. It won't even iterate again. So we know what iteration is. We know what loop is, like going over the same thing. So now, but if it's now, in our case now, we have 1, 0, 1, 1. That means this condition is not going to be satisfied. Then else now, this way our work lies now. Now, the first thing we need to do is to convert the character into a string. Now, this does that. Number does to string now. Now, it returns it as a string now. We now need to convert our string to a double. Now, we now do double dot pass of whatsoever it's been submitted now. So when it does that now, there's a library, there's a math library now. Now, if you want to do raised to power, instead of doing normally in C#, if you want to do 2 raised to power 4, I'll just write 2 star 4. Then it will calculate it now. But to make it more professional, we make use of a library called math.pow. So math.pow, what it does is that it carries the first value we give it, that's 2, raised to power the power. Now, so let's say that's 2 raised to power 4 now. I will just do math.pow 2, 4. But in our case now, our power will be changing as we iterate. So now, for the start now, who can tell me what my power will be at this point? Hello? Is anyone over there?
It will be 4.
It won't be 4. It will be, I want someone else to answer. It's not correct. What will be the value of my power?
3.
Yeah, it will be 3 because I've subtracted the length from 1. It will be 3, yes. It's correct. So it will be 3 now. So for a start now, it will be math.pow 2, 3. So that will be 2 raised to power 3. Now, if you are with your pen and with your biro, if you are trying to convert it, you realize that we are a little bit close to what we want to get. So we have 2 raised to power 3 times, now we've done double pass number dot to string now. So that will convert our 1, which is a character, to 1 as it is. So it will now be 1, it will now be 2 raised to power 3 times 1. So now, then we can see this plus equal to now. It's another way to write it is to just do it this way. I saw Mr. AY submitted his assignment and I saw him use something like this. It's the same thing I saying answer equals, in the next 10 minutes, let's rejoin. The time is almost up, but let's rejoin. So now, it's the same thing as writing this. Answer equals answer plus this. So we've declared our answers to be 0 for a start. So now, instead of writing this, we wrote this. So now, it will add whatsoever it is. It will store it inside answer. Now, we know the way loop works. So it's coming back. When it's coming back, our number will no longer be 1. Our number will not be 0. We are using 1, 0, 1, 1 as example. So our number will not be 0. So now, when it's coming also, now, if you look at here now, I said length minus. That means length was 4 before. Now it will now change length to 3. Now it will remove 1 from length at this point now. So now, if it has successfully done it for the first one, so I put it inside else to ensure that it has done it before we remove 1. So it will remove 1 from 4, they will now have 3. So when it's coming back, length is now 3. That will be 3 minus 1. So our power will now be 2. So now, when it's coming now, 0, this condition will not be fulfilled. Now it will come down here. There will not be math.pow 2, 2. That will be 2 raised to power 2 times double dot pass. That is 0 now. That will be double dot pass 0. That will be 0 also. That will be 2 raised to power 2 times 0. It will now add it to the initial answer of answer. The initial value of answer. To add it, then it will now remove also, it will remove 1 from length also. So length was coming as 2 before. So when it's going back now, length will now be 1. So that will be, okay, it was 3 before now. Removing 1 now, length will now be 2. So when it's coming out, it will now be 2 minus 1. So it will now be 1. Power will now be 1. So when it gets there, that will be 2, 1. That will be 2 raised to power 1 times double pass 1. That will be 2 raised to power 1 times 1. So the evaluation will be added to the initial value of answer. So then it's now get to the last one. So when it's done with the loop, so now when it's done with the loop, it will now get outside. Then it will now do this now, which I wrote here. Console.writeLine, the equivalent value of, you can see this printing format I did there. The equivalent value of close bracket 0, close bracket 1. So this norm will represent here. This one will represent here. So to be the equivalent value of 1011 is to be the answer. Then now I now made use of do while. I believe we are familiar with do while. So now let me uncomment my plan. So now I'm coming. Okay, we are familiar with do while. Now I don't want to do it in such a way that after you've entered after it has done the first conversion, the whole thing will stop. No, I want it to be able to do for as many as the person wants to do. So now I made use of do while. So we also know what do while is. So I put all my code inside this do while. So I mean, do all of this while this condition is still being fulfilled. Now I put my while here so that it can do for the first case. So the condition will start after this first code has been first evaluated. So now then it's now so it's asking the person, okay, now I see now console.writeLine. Do you want to continue with conversion? Write yes or no. So now the person should write yes or no. So now it will now expect the person to write something now and store it inside a variable called decision. Now I declared a variable called decision outside my do. So now whatever the person entered will be stored inside the variable decision. Now this condition now I've put for this this block of code to run again is now decision dot to lower bracket. Now what this does is whatever the person enters, if the person enters capital letter Y-E-S, it will help me convert it to small letter Y-S. Person enter capital letter N-O, or maybe it's capital letter N, small letter O, then it will convert it to lower. Then do not check, okay, while the person is entering yes, that should be the condition you will go back and run this block of code again. So if the person enters no, stop executing this code. So now let's run our code. Before I run it, okay, while I'm running it, let's raise our questions. In 5 minutes, this section will be over. So let's rejoin. So, but while the session is still on, let's ask our question. Do you have any question around the code and from my explanation? Any question? Mr. Iwa, any question? Mr. Goodness, any question? Mr. Timley, any question?
I will have to go through it again before I can ask questions.
Huh?
I'm a bit confused.
Okay.
I said I will have to go through it. Maybe when I get the video, I will have to go through it again so that I can, figure things out. It's kind of confusing to me.
Okay, and I was a bit fast, right?
Yes, and I understand. I understand it's because of the time that you're trying to manage. I'll go through the video and try to figure things out.
Okay. Any other question?
Right.
Okay, I've already pushed this particular work file on to the central repo with our learn from home repo. So now let me share the output with us. I mean, if you see the output, we also understand the concept. Now it's asking me enter a binary value. So let me enter 10111111. So like that's meant what it's meant to do. I enter it. So it evaluates. So if you carry your pen and you evaluate this, it will give you 175. So what it does is it iterates over that value, going and coming, then converting and adding the value. So now it's asking me again, do you want to continue with conversion? Let me say yes. Or let me say capital letter yes, so that we can see the effect of that code. So now it's asking me to enter, so I can do any other conversion again. This one gives me 23 as output. So it's asking me, do I want to continue with conversion? Let me say yes again. This small letter yes, still responding. So I can write 111111111. So that will be much, giving me 255. For those that are familiar with networking, so that's 255. That's a valid response. So now let's assume I want to just stop the whole thing. Let's just say no or enter anything whatsoever. So it closes it. It closes it. So that's how the code works. So I checked the code we submitted. Some of us got it right. I also love the one submitted by Mr. Tim. I gave us reference to look at. So we can look at that also. Then okay, I want to give you an assignment, Mr. Ayodele. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, now after studying this code, I want you to put comments based on your understanding in the code. Is that possible?
Yes, I'll try.
Okay, so you just put comments. So when you put comments, I just push it, then I will see the pull request, then I will so that we're able to work together. So we need to start learning how to work together so that when we start the project we want to do. So that's that concerning the code. So there are many things to learn. So let's go straight to what we have for today. We are looking at exception handling, and that remains 1 minute. Okay, let me just introduce that before we log us out. I'll come up again. So now exception handling. Now imagine you write a code and you ask someone to enter integer values, and you've written your code to solve problem to evaluate integer values, and the person decided to enter strings. Now your code will misbehave. In short, the software will freeze up and it will hang. Like, I've even asked ourselves questions like when we try to misbehave around some softwares, it gives us a welcoming response and tells us, oh, you've taken the wrong step. Take this decision. This is the right way to do it. Now, what has actually happened? The developer of those softwares, they've written exceptions. They know human beings are bound to error. Some are bound to be stubborn naturally. So they've written codes to address many of those excesses. So that's what brings us to exception handling.